Good morning, respected lecturers and fellow students. I want to start with an interesting fact. As of 2023, the United Kingdom has over 200 Michelin stars restaurants. 4 decades before, the UK was infamous with its boiled vegetable and plant puddings. These presentations will be devoted to be the British uh, culinary revolutions. I did not choose the topic to teach everyone how to cook these dishes, but to show you how the British achieved the breakthrough that to traditional cultural dishes. They reincarnations from street food into fast food, and finally their contemporary versions. My goals consist of studying the history and tendencies of the British food cultural and the cultural aspect of British societies. I watched the presentations from expert and visit Nando's and Greg's. So throughout these presentations, I wish to tell you about the food that helped save Britain. Thus, I present the British comfort food. So, evidently, the shepherd pie is the most iconic British comfort food. Its history goes back to the 18th and 19th centuries when thrifty households utilized leftover roast meat, while shepherd's pie used minced lamb is a close cousin. The cottage pie used beef, and moreover, the savory brown spread of creamy mashed potato give it both substance and warmth. Davidson further note that the dish is a testament or excessive, but was instead a nutritious, simply family meal. Nevertheless, it has since become the nostalgic classic, symbolizing the warmth and comfort of the home. If the shepherd's pie is the family's table, then this one for the bustling London street of the East End. Pie and mash shops come to exist in the 19th century, a stable meal for dock workers and laborers. It was a minced beef pie with mashed potatoes and green parsley sauce, which you apparently call liquors. As food historian Panay in Spice Up Britain, the multicultural history of the British food demonstrate these shops were more than places to eat. They serve as social hubs for working class groups, and the cost of the pie mash mean it was a meal for the people. For variation across the regions also underscored British culinary diversity. In the north of England, pork pie and steak and kidney pies are popular, while in Scotland and Scotch pie have cultural significance. The working man's meal exists in some version and in every region. Nowadays, pie and mash shops are fewer in numbers, yet they continue to be the cultural totems. They represent the legacy of London East End and teach us once that the food is isn't just about flavor, it's identity and belongings. There are many places British youngster has held their heart, quite like the Nando's, created in South Africa and Portuguese origins. Nando's first entered the UK market in the 1990s, but within a few years was a British institution. Its peri-peri chickens, the marinades in chili and seasonings, provide the taste that were vibrant, spicy, and unlike anything we'd ever had in British food. The food and globalization's consumption market and politics in the modern world. James state that Nando's popularity in Britain is validations of the globalizations of taste. It's come to particularly in with students and young adults who's considered an inexpensive, social, and cool. The term cheeky Nando's went on to become one part of British slang, an emblem of its integrations into youth cultures. Nando is what British look like when it's open to the world. It's a case study in how an overseas chain can become domesticated into the national food culture, reshaping what it means to eat British. In so many ways, Nando has expanded the British palate, making spice and flavor part of everyday eating. When Nando is global flavors, Greggs is local convenience. Start in Newcastle in 1930s, Greggs had become the greatest bakery chain with more than 2,000 outlets across the country. The menu features sausage roll, steak bake, and sandwich, but its most famous products in recent years has become the vegan sausage rolls, which launched in 2019. As Butler wrote in The Guardian, the vegan sausage roll proved not only to be a commercial success, but also a cultural moment which ignite the decisions on traditional and modernity, as well as the trend among the plant-based diet. It has managed to strike a balance of cheapness and innovations and become a mainstay on the high street in Britain. Greggs is the model of how British food has become democratized. It's affordable, quick, and responsive to every shifting consumer trends. From career women nipping out for a pastry to the teenagers grabbing a sandwich, Greggs has become woven into the fabrics of everyday life. So today we look at the British culinary revolutions through 4 angles: the familiar shepherd pie, the British working class fuel with pie and mash shop, Nando's again with the time globally, and finally the high street revolutions, Greggs. Collectively, they evidence British cooking has neither plan or pace. It is not a monument to notions, but rather an active miners of history, classisms, and globalizations and innovations. On the family tables, 1 minute the high street, the next. Food is not just the history of not just the story of how and what Britons eat, but also of who they are and who they become. The story is important to us as students of what is happening in the world with respect to food at the global level. It's a reminder that cuisine is never static, but rather it shifts under society, migrations, and cultures. So the next time you're in the UK, and I encourage you to try these revolutions out for yourself. Poke at the stereotypes, image captures. Visit a traditional pie and mash shop. Share the chicken Nando's with friends, or pick up the sausage roll at Greggs to make fun of the British way. In so doing, you will not only merely eating, you are tasting the history at every bite. Thank you for listening.